not a single newspaper that I saw, major newspaper in London, endorsed Nigel. So if you're a normal person, you're probably afraid because you think, well, the whole world is going to call me racist if I support Nigel.
Well, I don't care.
The local candidate here is Nigel Farage. Reform UK is sort of an upstart party. What do you lads make of it?
It's great. Yeah, I agree with it.
All four of you agree?
Yeah.
They didn't stop him before. Do you think they're going to stop him this time?
Hopefully not. And not everyone wants to vote for fascism.
I'm Ezra Levant from Rebel News. We're based in Canada, but we care about things around the world because we can learn lessons from places like the United Kingdom. And I'm here in Clacton to see how this election goes with the entrance of Nigel Farage, the leader of the new Reform UK party. He's running here in Clacton an insurgent campaign to boot out the Tories and bring in a platform of stopping mass immigration. I'm going to talk to ordinary people and see what I can find out. What do you think about the candidacy of Nigel Farage here in Clacton? What did you make of that?
I think he's got some good ideas, but I think he could be quite dangerous. I think there's a lot of people that maybe would take on a different stance with it all. So I wouldn't vote for Nigel on that basis, really.
The local candidate here is Nigel Farage. Reform UK is sort of an upstart party. What do you lads make of it?
It's great. Yeah, I agree with it.
All four of you agree?
Yeah. That's what Britain needs. Reform.
And what is it about reform, or is it Nigel Farage that you like?
He knows his stuff. That's what it is. He knows what he's on about, knows what to do, and he's prepared, isn't he? So. Yeah, I like Nigel. He's good.
Is there a particular issue that he talks about that you agree with?
I agree with some of the stuff he says. I think just need to make Britain great again.
Nigel's been pretty popular on TikTok and social media. I get a real kick out of it. I'm over in Canada. Do you guys follow him on TikTok or
TikTok, Twitter, everything, yeah.
What do you think? Is he being silly or is he connecting?
No, he's connecting to everyone, isn't he?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the election, and do you feel comfortable sharing them in public? Because I noticed some people are a little shy to go on the record because I think maybe they're worried about being cancelled or something.
I think cancel culture is a big issue for people. They're afraid to talk freely. So I think, it seems like Labour have won the election. That's what the news would give you to believe, the mainstream media. I think what this is about is what kind of gains that Reform can make, and can they overtake the Tory party. It's about what can they do, and who's going to stand up for the right wing in the UK.
I take it you don't think the Conservative Party is really conservative at all then?
No, they're no longer conservative. They're what people call Labour light. So they're kind of carried on from Blair. They carried on a lot of his policies. So, yeah.
I think the phrase far right here in the UK has a particular meaning that's sort of scarier than in North America. If someone said you're far right, that wouldn't sting in America. But here it's, oh, please, it's basically code for racist. And I wonder if Brits are afraid of saying, no, I want to control immigration, I want to control wokeness. I didn't know the cancel culture was so powerful here. Do you think there's a lot of secret Nigel supporters who maybe won't publicly say they're for Nigel and the reform, but in the ballot mark an X when no one is looking?
I think definitely, and I think a bit like with Trump in America. So in 2016, a lot of the polls said that Trump didn't have a chance. I think there are secret Reform voters, but also you're going to see a lot of people come out and vote for Reform that wouldn't normally vote, so they're not being picked up by the polls.
Do you think some people are shy about supporting Nigel Farage and might vote for him privately, but wouldn't say so publicly?
Definitely. Because there's so much stigma attached to people's views. You know, you can vote one way and people might think that, you're racist. Not necessarily racist, but, like the way our communities have changed, you're just thinking, is it right? Is this what we want? So I don't think it's racist or radical at all.
I mean, this election is really about immigration, both legal and illegal. I mean, the country's getting full. My wife works in a school as an invigilator. They haven't got any more room in that school. You can't get a doctor's appointment. You ring up at 8 o'clock and you have to ring 30 times to get through, and then by 8:30 the appointments have all gone.
Well, it sounds like you two follow politics quite closely, but I think most normal people don't. I think most people don't even read the
So we're
newspaper.
not normal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying you've got your volume knob turned up to 10 on politics, but an average person in Clacton, I bet, and so they're going to read the mainstream media. They're going to get the news from Channel 4 or BBC, or, I mean, not a single newspaper that I saw, major newspaper in London, endorsed Nigel. So if you're a normal person, you're probably afraid because you think, well, the whole world is going to call me racist if I support Nigel.
Well, I don't care.
Well, you don't, but it sounds like a lot of people do.
Starting not to care. No, youngsters are starting not to care. Social media is really big, and social media needs to be hit because youngsters read social media and they're not. I think previously parties have overlooked it because they think youngsters are stupid, they're not interested. Now, Nigel's party has targeted them in a way with facts that they can read, facts that they can actually see. You look, immigration, like Jono says, is a massive, massive problem here. But positive immigration isn't a massive problem. We've got people coming from abroad to work in the NHS. That's positive immigration. You know, every country needs positive immigration. You go to Canada. I can't go to Canada because I'm too old. Joyce Bloggs can't go to Canada if he hasn't got a trade, if he's not qualified. So that's positive immigration, isn't it? So the youngsters now are saying, hold on, I went to school and I couldn't do this because this is happening and this is happening. There's not enough school places. I can't go to doctor. I can't go to hospital. There's not enough places. And that is because of non-positive immigration, isn't it?
Nigel Farage has always fought against the press, and they tried to stop Brexit with Project Fear. They didn't stop him before. Do you think they're going to stop him this time?
Hopefully not. I'm hopeful.
I-
I heard that there's a great turnout, so that is a good sign.
It's not good. You know, we've got more of them coming over. There's more of them than our British Army now coming over. ISIS fighters coming through Africa, Al-Shabaab all coming down from Somalia, across to West Africa and then coming across. It's pretty.
Are they coming from France, or where are the boats coming from? From France?
Over to Italy and they're working their way down. But they're bigger than our British Army now. You only got to look at London. They're bigger than our British Army. All fighting fit men. Right? Where's their wives? They say they're fleeing war. Where's their wives? Where's their wives and children? They're not all fleeing war. Very little percentage are fleeing war. They're all coming from West Africa and North Africa. That's the problem with it all. Too many. And they're throwing away all their IDs. They use their IDs to get through West Africa, tell me. Every single checkpoint they used to use their IDs, and then they start getting across there. So when they get to France, they chuck away their IDs.
But not everyone in this town is racist, and not everyone wants to vote for fascism. That's it. There are plenty of people here that support immigration, and I would say that most of the local Clacton people actually probably do. A lot of the anti-immigration policies here are from people that have moved away from London to create their own perfect little Brexit here. So that's my opinion. But
Now, if someone's in France, I haven't been there in a while, but what I know about France is it's fairly free and fairly safe. If someone's in France,
last week's elections would say otherwise.
but
They are facing the same troubles that we are.
but surely people in France are not in danger. And just if you're in France already, aren't they just shopping around? If they're already safe in France, if they came from Africa or someone they're safe in France, aren't they just shopping around?
I appreciate this opinion. However, Britain as a nation for hundreds of years have travelled the globe telling everyone in the world we are the best people. We have travelled the world telling people that they should respect us and trying to get them to assimilate to our culture. Why now would they not choose to come here? They speak English, or at least the vast majority speak some English, where they may not speak any French. There is a reason people choose to come here, and that is our own doing from hundreds of years of colonialism.
Can I ask you, what is it about Nigel Farage or Reform UK that made you vote for him?
Immigration. Immigration, and a lot of his policies are for the people.
Before Reform UK was around, who did you vote for last time, or did you vote last time?
First time I voted.
Really? And how about you?
I used to vote Labour up to Tony Blair, and I thought, you know, I've had enough. He was a warmonger, Absolute warmonger. Couldn't stand it. I can't stand war. And then now you've got Sunak's coming, and he wants war. He wants to make it into like a regime country. I think it's too Muslim-fied.
What do you make of his idea to have a kind of mandatory service for young people? It sounds a little bit like military conscription. Were you surprised by that?
That tells me we're getting ready for war. That tells me that he wants war. That tells me it's got war written all over it. And to me, I'm not into war.
How many people who used to vote Labour are going for Nigel? How many would come from the Conservative Party, and how many would be more working class?
A lot of my friends have gone to, gone from Labour to Conservative.
Are you working class?
Yeah, I work, yeah. But no, as I say, they've gone from Labour to Conservative to Nigel now. Everybody's for Nigel, as far as I can see. I went to his meeting last night down on the pier. Everybody's for Nigel.
How do you think he's going to do nationwide? I sense he's strong here in Clacton, but what about in other places?
I think he can crack it. I think he's a good man.
He's a winner. He's a good leader.
Well, I really appreciate you guys stopping to talk with me. Thank you. Give me your prediction. I know we'll know in a few hours. How's Reform going to do in this district, and do you think they'll have luck elsewhere in the country?
I believe Nigel Farage will just blast this away, this one. He'll be MP for Clacton-on-Sea tomorrow.
I think there is a possibility that quietly a lot of people are fed up with things in the UK and they're going to vote for Reform and Nigel Farage, because when they mark that X, it's in the privacy of a polling booth and they don't have to say who they voted for in public. It's sort of the shy voter effect that Donald Trump had in 2016. You might recall when Trump won in 2016, the New York Times, just days before the election, said that Hillary Clinton had a 90% plus chance of winning. Well, I think it was because people weren't being candid with the pollsters. I wonder if that phenomenon will be here. Remember, Farage has campaigned in America for Trump. He understands that Trump phenomenon. In fact, in some ways, he predated the Trump phenomenon. Remember, Brexit came first. Trump came next. It could just be that people are here to enjoy themselves and they don't want to talk politics. But it could also be that something's happening in a subterranean way that will be revealed tonight. We'll find out.